is up, boys and girls? How you doing, Mr. Dino? MG? Coley, what's happening? Let's Mars. Shadow 777. I called it. Good job. How you doing? What do we got? A couple of people joining. I'll let some more people filter through before I kick it off. I've tried out, let me get a picture of what I've just put on the back of my computer chair. 1 second. How do I get this onto my phone? Or off my phone onto my computer? I'll just send it through my Discord. Let's see. Here we go. My computer chair right now. I did have oh shit, this is gonna kill the stream. Sorry if that dropped out briefly. My internet's been playing up. But I've got I've got that on the back of my chair now. Pretty cool. So you can't see all the embarrassing shit that's happening behind me when I'm streaming. Nah, there's nothing happening behind there. But that's pretty much my setup there. You can see my screens in front there. It is like a sun visor, except there's no sun in here. It's just a shadowy cave with lights. It's just like a big old green screen that attaches to the back of my chair, so I don't have to have these awkward curtains set up. It's good. All right, let's talk about Bitcoin. Where are we? We are. Let's go to like the daily chart. And are the audio levels okay? Is the music too loud or is it okay? Just touch it down a little bit. There we go. So we got all of these key levels that I'm watching, right? Bar probably the lows at this stage, but they may come into play as we go forward. But this is the back end of last year, right? Starting in June, heading forward. We had our August high. So that's the highest point on the chart in recent history, right? That's the price to beat. We came and attempted to get it here, but failed. There wasn't enough energy on this initial push. However, now that we're correcting off that initial push, we're now like on a bit of a mission to find support, aren't we? Like we're looking for some kind of bounce point. So let me just do a FEB retracement. If we take the 2022 low, which was 15.5, and go all the way up to our recent high, which is 24,250 roughly, we get our FEB levels. Now we've recently broken through back down through the 236 FEB level. We're trying to establish support on the November high. Remember, this was the high that we pulled in just before FTX fiasco, you know, before the huge crash. So look, this is a pretty key level. Like we sort of met it as resistance on the way up here. So evidence of both resistance, and now potentially, are we getting support? We are at the moment, but how long is that going to last? Like, you know, if we lose this support, guys, the next sort of zone I'm looking at are the sort of support structure of this little consolidation that we had. So if I jump down to like the 1 hour time frame and zoom out, you can see there's the structure there. So if we can try to use that as a point of support, that's possible. So guys, there's many key levels here that we can look at to see if we're going to find support at it. Obviously, we're dealing with the first level now, which was the November high. Obviously, we're short-term downtrending, so it's like a correction. If we punch through this November high and we lose it, the next level is the 382 fib level, which is 20,900. Losing that, there's no particular fib level from this retracement, which sort of picks out that low there. But look, there's so many lows that we can sort of pick and try to find evidence for a bounce. There's the 20K level, which is the 2017 market high, like the previous all-time high, right? But for me, the hardest line in the sand would have to be right here. So that level just there that we made in December, that's the high. Let me make it really obvious and clear. If we stay above the red line, there is still optimism and hope for whatever structure this is. Like if we do pull all the way back here, guess what? We haven't broken the uptrend if we pull back to here. If we get below here, like this is the last line of hope. If we pull below that, that's when it's like, okay, like the character is starting to change here. Like we've lost that high. And then, it's like, shit, are we going to start attacking these lows? And that, obviously it's possible, right? Like everything's possible. But we're working with probability. We want to know what's probable. So look, first hurdle or first line of support is still being dealt with. And we very well could see support here and, maybe chop through it because we're just about on the weekend right now. We've got less than half an hour away till the weekend starts. And if we sort of chop here and use this as support over the weekend, maybe come Monday, there'll be enough reason for us to sort of start building again. But it's early days. Let's just deal with this level first. As the last few weekends have been, they've been pretty slow. I'm going to turn those on. Let's go down to like the 15-minute chart so that we can see the weekends prior. So these rectangles here, these are the previous weekends. And I mean, this is a time constraint of this weekend we're going into, but I haven't, obviously the highs and lows of the weekend are yet to be defined, so we'll wait for those to come in. But my guess is it's going to be like similar to the previous, fuck that up, hang on a second. It's going to be similar to the previous weekends, probably maybe like a, let me just make this 22.3 and make this 21K, 21.3. So a $1,000 range is roughly what we've been dealing with on the previous 4 weekends, right? So maybe that's what we get. Maybe we get a bit of wicking down below the November high, and maybe we get a bit of relief bouncing up, a little bit of optimism, maybe some bull trapping, but for the most part, I think, we're probably going to just obviously range and bounce until we get Monday, Tuesday. Now, the cool thing about Monday, Tuesday, guys, is, let's check the calendar. We have, and sorry for the blinding light of this website. I could turn on the dark mode, but let's do that. Hang on a second. There we go. All right. So scrolling down here, we have CPI. By the way, the forecast is in. They're forecasting 6.2%. That is an improvement of 6.5, which is what we had last CPI, right? There's the last actual result. They're forecasting 6.2. If we get better than that, that's bullish. If we get exactly 6.2, that's bullish. If we get worse than 6.2, like a 6.4 or a 6.5, that's very bad. Like, it's not bad, but it's like average. It's not what we want to see. We want to see reduction on inflation, so disinflation. We want to see disinflation, and that's that's, I think, primarily that's how we read inflation. It's the year-over-year CPI line, which I do have a chart for. Let me open that up. I'll just touch on this briefly before we get into the rest of the analysis, like the macro stuff. Okay, so we've got the interest rate chart and we've got the inflation rate chart. So we want inflation rate, and it's going to look like this. As you can see, I've got it like drawn up to show the different decades performance. So the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. The 70s was ugly as hell for inflation. The 80s had a lot of work to do dealing with what the 70s did, but we got it under control. I think there was a depression in America during the early 80s. So, back when Michael Jackson released Thriller, that kind of period. That's how I gauge the 80s. I just think about Michael Jackson. Now the 90s, Nirvana, Alice in Chains, inflation still working on, bringing it down. It was pretty sticky, it was all over the place. But look, we got it down. We got it pretty low under control. And we were basically, we've been dancing around the 2% level that the Fed likes to have it for 30 years. It's been 30 years that we've been chopping around 2%, which is good. This is just the first time in 30 odd years that we've been this high. We've seen a peak of 9.1% inflation in the US. So there's a bit of perspective for you. We're in the 20s now, the 2020s. We're 2023 now. Let's go full screen and zoom right in on what's happening. So now the most recent CPI report we had was in January, and a CPI report looks at the previous month's performance. So this is the basically the December level, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, so the BLS. So basically, this reading of 6.5% is 2 months old. Because we're February now, right? We're almost mid-February. This is 2 months old data that we're still looking at, 6.5%. So even when the report comes out in the next couple of days, it's gonna be a month's looking into a month's history, a month ago. So now the forecast that we get off the Forex factory calendar here is 6.2%. Now that puts us here. So that, remember, they're looking at January's performance, reporting it in February, but looking at January. So January sits right there where my cursor is at 6.2%. So this blue dotted line is what they're forecasting. Now remember, this website here, trueflation.com, they try to, as I say in every stream, they try to basically report on inflation day in, day out. So it's daily. So it's the most live and up-to-date version of the inflation reading that you can get. So let's see, the last month, there was a high of just basically 6% back in the middle of January, and now we're doing okay this month. For the last 30 days odd of performance, we're down to 5.32%, so that's really good. And I've marked out on the calendar roughly where this website is up to. So they're calling for 5.3, which is today. Let me go here. Okay, 5.3, we know that. That's roughly here on this dotted white trajectory line. So if actual inflation comes in and follows anything close to what Trueflation's reporting, we should be somewhere on this dotted line going forward. But the forecast is actually a little bit pessimistic compared to what Trueflation read for back here. Trueflation came in at 5.8% for January's performance. Let's look at that. Let's go 6 months here. January. So there's January. You can see there. Let me just look in here. What's this? January 01. So it's tricky because it's like what date in January are they talking about? And my prediction's probably going to be off, by the way. So a 6.2%, yeah, I can see 6.2. Maybe that's why like the forecast is coming in at that, because, you know, maybe not totally because of trueflation, but 6.2, where's 6.2? It's all the way up here. So this trajectory line has changed. Let me fix that up then. I'll fix that later. But anyway, for January, yeah, trueflation was roughly calling for 6.2 as well. So I think it's going to be somewhere in that ballpark. Maybe they're going to get it bang on like last time. So the last CPI reading, if you can remember, was forecast to be 6.5, and we got 6.5. So it was came in exactly as forecast. So let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. All right, enough about inflation. Let's close all that down. By the way, the date for it, if you're living in Brisbane like me, is the 14th of February, Valentine's Day at 11:30 p.m. when everyone's getting into bed. I think in the US, let's check the US time zone. Eastern, the center of the universe, Eastern US time. Calendar, okay. So if you live in the center of the world, in where everything matters, it's Tuesday, Feb 14 at 8:30 a.m. So an hour before the market opens is when we get CPI, New York time, right? So there we have it. It's coming up. It's Valentine's Day for you guys too. It's Valentine's night for me. It's Valentine's morning for you guys in the US. Inflation. So it's very fast approaching. Now close the inflation rate chart. Let's have a look at the DXY as well. What the hell's it been doing over the past couple of weeks, or couple of days rather? It's seen a bounce. It's still in a downtrend from a macro perspective, right? But we haven't enjoyed this bump here. It's been pretty like bleak for risk on markets like the stock market, like crypto. We all know that we've pulled back a little. Look at the SPY. We've come down off these dizzying heights. Not dizzying, but these highs here. We have corrected off them. We're actually, so this is the Friday performance right here. Surprising for a Friday. Pretty sideways, hey. Kind of out of character for most Fridays. Thursday's performance was a massive dump. Wednesday, dump as well. Tuesday was cool. Tuesday was when Jerome Powell came out and tried to be like optimistic again. And then Monday was gross. Just chop, nothing. May as well have been the weekend. So yeah, here we are, rising wedge. Not very positive, guys. Look, dumping into a rising wedge is, if textbook plays out, textbook says that, right? For the SPY, that's the S&P 500. So that gives me reason to believe, ooh, you know, maybe crypto, maybe Bitcoin hunts for a lower price. You know, this November high is just is like a stop along the way for the a bit more of a further correction on price. Maybe that's where we see the retest of these lows here, which is 20,350, 400, 23,400. Wicking through that maybe. Now, obviously CPI is a big one. We know CPI comes out, like markets rally into CPI and then markets like sell the news sometimes with CPI. So you just have to be very careful. Just like with the funds rate coming out, we have to be careful with and no, it's not pre-recorded. Let's Mars. I'll get to the chat in a minute. Sorry, I'm on a bit of a roll here. My bad. So yeah, CPI is coming out, guys. We're gonna see if we rally into it or whether we dump, continue this trend here going down. So interesting times. I feel like everything's pretty interesting lately. Everything's been interesting. Like we're seeing if we get like, you know, all these events. Everyone's on the edge of their seat. We've been on the edge of our seat the whole year so far. It's been like a party so far. It's good. It's good for trading. Start of the year, massive pump, hitting the top. Now the bears get a bit of a party, like as this correction starts to pull back. So far we've got a falling wedge, which is early days to try and define that. You remember I drew this in last stream. If I just, let me just hover this over here. There it is. So yeah, we're starting to get another pivot here potentially. So if we rise up, like leading up into the Saturday candle, which is about to start in 9 minutes or less, we'll see if we can define an actual pivot, like a short-term pivot, something like this, to where this line becomes solid. Like, you know, we can actually lock that line in as a trend. Because it's still early. If we fall further, this line could potentially come down here, you know? And it becomes a falling channel rather than a falling wedge. So we just, yeah, this is pending. This line is pending approval. So we'll just leave it there for now. And let's just see what happens in the coming 9-8 minutes as we get the Friday candle close for crypto, or for TradingView rather, for every market basically, except for SPY. So yeah, DXY, we want to see that optimism drain, but look, in all reality, it really could come up and test this previous high here. And we have to be prepared for that. And if it actually breaks through that and then back tests it and finds support, then shit, we're in for further pain in markets. But we'll see. Let's see what CPI spits out, because that could be a catalyst for the next, you know. We know that when CPI comes out positive, the DXY likes to dump. When interest rates come out positive, like, you know, we get a 25 basis point hike instead of a 50 or a 75, DXY dumps. This was the interest rate candle, the 25 basis point Jerome Powell Save the World candle, right there. DXY dumped almost 1%. But look, we've bounced since then because the job figures were not what we were hoping for. We were hoping more people were unemployed, but there's less people unemployed at the moment, which means this DXY goes up. Employment strong, dollar strong, like DXY goes up. Employment, like unemployment rates going up, supposedly dollar index goes down, right? But hey, look, I don't know about a recession yet. The US economy's doing okay. It's the next GDP report's going to be pretty interesting to see if, like, you know, if America has been producing more, you know, and doing more compared to last year. So that'll be good. That'll be optimistic. And that'll sort of squash or at least delay this impending recession that everyone seems to keep pointing to. You know, it's kind of like a narrative. Like maybe it's a narrative that's been spun out to mislead everyone. Would they do that to us? Would they mislead us? Probably. They have been. All right, let me read the comments here. Sorry, I've been a little bit busy with the charts. I'm gonna delete this. What do we got? 5-6 minutes until the daily candle close. I'm gonna clean up my scribbles here and then I'll start reading comments. So you better be saying some nice things about me. Yeah, we'll watch it on the 1 minute time frame here. Okay, comments. Let's see. What have you guys been saying? Do you recommend the Ledger Nano X? Yeah, any of the. I think. Well, I don't even own one, but I should get one because I want to start. I should start accumulating Bitcoin and holding it in cold storage. That's the smart thing to do. That's the clever and like safe thing to do, I think. But yeah, Ledger. That's one of the leading brands of the hardware wallets, as well as Trezor. But I think Ledger's more popular. I hear more about that one. Good morning to all the people that were saying good morning. MG, my dude. Yes, 5 minutes ago you forgot. Jesse. Ah, yes, Jesse. That smiles. That touchscreen Ledger looks dope. I didn't even know there was a touchscreen one. That's cool. Ooh, a super chat just came through. Appreciate that. Thank you. I'll get down to it and see it in a second. I'm just scrolling through the comments here. Yeah, there was a bit of... Sorry about the internet connection, guys. There was a bit of a lag before. Look at that clean taper. Nice haircut. Yes, I got a haircut. As you can see, I asked for a blend or a fade from like a number 1 up to a 2 and then blend it into the top of my hair, but it looks pretty abrupt. It doesn't seem that blended. It's okay. It's okay. I don't mind. I'll go bald one day. Still bullish as long as we don't go below 17k. Yeah, I agree. I think if we hold 18 and bounce at 18, that's still bullish to me. Michael Jackson did not cause the depression. Rick, I like Michael Jackson. I'm not like everyone else that thinks he, I think he was innocent, all that stuff. Always a Michael fan. Hello, Rick, with the little... Oh, I like the 4-leaf clover. I love that. Daily candle closes coming up, guys. Almost the weekend. Almost time to fall asleep for crypto. Why does the market have an inverse relation with the DXY? Good question. So the DXY is the dollar. What do we measure crypto in? Dollars. If dollar goes up, crypto goes down. If crypto go up, dollar go down. You know what I mean? Or like that's the idea. So because we're measuring Bitcoin against the dollar, it just means that when Bitcoin has dumped, it's probably because the dollar went up and is stronger against it in comparison. There are times where they both rally together, but it's not that common. Like it's probably briefly a thing. But yeah. Aaron, what's happening, dude? Happy Friday to you too. Is it live? Yes, it's live. It's live as possible. It's actually a future, because I'm in Australia. We're 10 hours ahead of the UK, so, and you guys are 4 or 5 hours behind the UK, so you guys are living in the past, you Americans. When is CPI? It's Tuesday. Yep, Tuesday. Crikey, no worries, mate. They told us there wasn't an inflation issue for how long? Yes, true. They told us there wasn't an issue with inflation until things started to improve with how bad inflation was. It's like, oh, by the way, inflation was bad. We were actually in a recession. We were in a recession. We're out of it now, though. Love you, Coley. Manny, or what is that currency? 125 something or other. $3.30 Australian. Thanks, man. Appreciate the little tips there. The little ones, the big ones, any of them. And I appreciate any of the comments as well. And even just the views and the likes. Remember to smash up the like button, guys, and subscribe if you haven't already. Philippines. Philippine peso. Thank you. Manny is my Philippine brother or sister. I don't know if you're a guy or a girl, but either way, thank you. Keep it up. Skywalker says, always a pleasure to chill together with you. Man, I love Luke Skywalker. The Skywalker vibe is cool. Thank you, appreciate that. The force is strong with you, Skywalker. How's our rising wedge formation right now in Bitcoin? Look at that. We're into the weekend now. It's officially the weekend, guys. Go buy some booze and party on. I'm gonna make this blue. I'm gonna make the top line white, and this is what I'm suggesting is some kind of scary looking rising wedge. So don't get too comfortable with any kind of uptrend at this stage, guys. This could produce another pullback, unless it Bart Simpsons, of course. But I'm thinking, yeah, it's not the most bullish looking pattern, is it? It's bearish until it isn't, basically. Alright, there's my lines. Something like that. We'll see how it behaves. You got the future charts, yeah. Unfortunately, these charts are just UTC. And everyone looks at them in UTC. So the daily candle close is at 10 o'clock in the morning for me, and like probably 6 o'clock at night for you guys in the US. 6 or like 4 or 3, depending where you live. I thought it was Pokebucks. Pokemon dollars. Alright, I think I'm up to speed there with the comments. Good to see everyone's active and alive and well in this bear market, in this crab market. We've gone from bear to crab, and then hopefully to bull, but we will see. We will see. Ooh, super chat by Mars. Thanks, Let's Mars. If you were going to buy a ticket on a luxury star cruise to the red planet, Mars, what cryptocurrency would you be paying with? Ooh, probably Dogecoin. Because if we're going to Mars, that means that Musk is winning and that he's still succeeding with his overall mission, maybe? Like, because I know he wants to go to Mars and he's a big advocate for Dogecoin, so yeah, I reckon Doge, man, to be honest. I'm going to look at Doge. I haven't looked at Doge in like 7 years. Let me go have a look at Doge. Though something tells me I wouldn't want to use Dogecoin because I want to hold it while we go to Mars. Because if people landed on Mars and put a Doge flag up on Mars, like, whoa, Doge would skyrocket in value, wouldn't it? So I wouldn't want to pay for a ticket in Doge. I'd want to pay for a ticket in like dollars or something like that. Like Tether or something. Maybe I'll pay for it in Bonk. Alright, is everyone ready to fall asleep as Saturday has just begun? You know how weekends go with crypto. Nothing happens. Go out and earn some fiat. Bring it back to crypto. Lose it. Nah, just kidding. Remember that red line is my line in the sand for us to stay optimistic. Falling wedge. Are we going to hold this spot? It's looking okay for now. I think the weekend's going to be pretty average, you know? It's going to be fairly... There shouldn't be too much drama on the weekend. Like, you know, a $1,000 range is usually what we get. Pray for it. Bitcoin TF. Or pay for it, Bitcoin. Sorry, I'm blind. You gotta pray for it too, though. You do have to pray for Bitcoin sometimes. It goes through a lot of shit. Thanks to Gary Gensler, the weasel. He looks like Mr. Burns. Have you seen Gary Gensler, guys? And you know who that is? He's the head of the SEC and he hates crypto. Let's see, Gary Gensler. It's Mr. Burns at the head of the Securities and Exchange Commission. I mean, just tell me this is not Mr. Burns. Release the hounds. Like, that is Mr. Burns if I ever saw him in real life. Oh, I found a good one. Yeah, so that's who we're dealing with, guys. We're up against Mr. Burns with crypto at the moment. He's probably got a shitload of Bitcoin, this guy, and he's trying to ruin Ethereum. He's trying to ruin any other altcoin at the moment. He's tried to take down XRP and failed so far, funnily enough. And he's probably looking to settle because he's losing money with the whole XRP case, or he's losing credibility, maybe. He's good friends with Sam Bankman-Fried as well, by the way. He turned a blind eye and completely, like, you know, retail got wrecked with FTX. And this guy's job was to protect us against that kind of evil. The damage got done, and then he's like, oh, let me look at it. Anyway, what is he doing right now? He's going after people that are trying to stake their crypto. Like, let's attack the little guy again. Don't worry about SBF. He's at home. He's on house arrest in his comfortable mansion with his mummy and daddy. Let's go after the everyday people. Let's attack staking, because staking's the problem here. Staking, guys, is the reason crypto's so dangerous. It's the safest thing you can do in crypto, and yeah. Backward, man, backward. I don't understand how this guy has a job, to be honest. Anyway, MIT graduate, MIT professor, and like mastermind, apparently. He's the biggest joke. Elon Musk is right. The SEC is a complete joke of an organization. It should be dismantled. It should be abolished, if you ask me. Can they make Australians president in the US? Because if so, let me get in there and I'll fucking fix it. Anyway. Make Kraken pay 30 mil for staking. Oh, Static, my dude. Weekly. Looks great. Yes, BTC is just breathing, y'all. You should too. Yes. I agree, dude. I'm not panicking by any means. This is a pretty healthy pullback. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, I said, you best believe that if Bitcoin or crypto does pull back, how many people do you think are lining up to buy it? You know, everyone missed the rip that went up 40 odd % from, you know, 16K up to 24K, right? How many people do you think were kicking themselves with that? And how many people do you think are going to be like, shit, let me buy the dip? Like, where the hell's the next dip? You know, there's got to be some hunger there. There has to be. It seems like logical, right? Obviously, play it safe. There's no guarantees with that, but I can see that's a likely scenario. Going to jail, he's still trading. Yeah, he's probably still trading, to be honest. they just did. It's dumb as fuck, but it's more of an attack on exchanges offering services, not staking in general. Yeah, I don't think it's an attack on cryptocurrency. It's just an attack on how we interact with it, how everyday people interact with it, how these exchanges are probably like exploiting staking, because there'd be definitely a benefit. Otherwise, they wouldn't offer it, right? There's some benefit to people staking their crypto to the exchange, because then the exchanges treat that as, I guess, their liquidity. I don't know. Someone's probably got a better explanation than me on that. No Aussie. Yeah, there's no Aussie presidents. Yeah, where's Obama's birth certificate? Yeah, that's right. I remember Trump was asking about that. Kane was born overseas. Was he? Oh, shit. Yeah, I see. They take a percent. Yep, I'm sure they take a cut. Yeah, they would have to. They would take a cut, no doubt. They wouldn't offer it for free just for everyone's benefit, right? These exchanges aren't out to help us. They're helping themselves, no doubt. Like it's a business, right? We live in a capitalist society. We pay fees every time we do anything on exchanges, right? They take a cut, they pay themselves. That's the beauty of self-custody, guys. Go on exchanges and take their crypto if you want. If you want to play it that way, if you want to play the long game, the smart game, get yourself a hardware wallet, get an account on an exchange, buy the things that you like. Bitcoin's a good safe bet, I reckon. Not financial advice. And then store that sucker, you know? Store it. Take it off their hands. Like, I'll help you. I'll help you hold this. And just take their liquidity and store it in your wallet. As long as you know what you're doing with hardware wallets and you know how to keep the keys safe and all that good stuff, it's probably a lot safer. Like we don't want an FTX 2.0 situation for anybody. The industry doesn't want it. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants that shit happening again. So yeah, self-custody, it's a very smart move. I'm preaching this, but I'm not practicing it, and I really need to start thinking about that, I think. But I don't know, like I said in last stream, like looking at the market from a higher perspective is going to serve you better in the long run than stressing yourself out on the 1 minute chart, you know? When you're all zoomed in like this, you have no idea what's happening big picture because you're watching the micro, like little twitches, you know? So jump out on the higher time frames. 1 hour's decent, 4 hours better. Daily's even better, weekly's cool. Weekly's nice and slow, so you can make nice slow decisions, you know? Very calculated, educated decisions on the weekly. Daily, you know, the exciting thing about the daily is that the stochastic is loaded. Look at it pull back here. Look at the RSI. We are below neutral. We're now oversold. Like not oversold, but we're on the oversold side of neutral. We're on the weaker side of neutral on the RSI on the daily chart. So that's promising. That's a good start. That's like, okay, we're bottom hunting now. We're looking for some kind of low support. I should call it support hunting. That's what we are doing right now. And that's why I called this stream Bitcoin on the hunt for support. Do you like my mouse handwriting? Because we are support hunting. Oh. Well, it's the weekend, guys. I don't think much is going to be happening over the next 48 hours. Maybe toward the end of Sunday, people are going to start getting excited about a CPI coming up. and maybe we see some optimistic moves in the market, provided there's no black swan events that spook everyone off. Like, the whole threat to staking, I think, has contributed to this dump, like this pullback here. Like, it's weird how the timing works, hey? Like, when we're pulling back, when we're dumping, they put out bad news. When we're going up, they put out good news. It's like everything sort of plays into a narrative. Juan says, nice fade haircut, Rick. I may have one right now too. Ooh, nice, man. Sweet look, if I may say so myself. Yeah, it's, I don't know if it comes up on the camera as good, but yeah, no, I'm fairly happy with the haircut. Got to keep the hair fresh, hey, because I've got grays now. Like, I don't know if you can see in my, you probably can't see it, but in my beard I've got, or in my facial hair, I've got grays coming out, sadly. Turning into an old man. It's probably all the crypto stress, trading stress giving me grey hair. Rick, if there are people who buy a Nano X online, I advise not to use a usual email but a temporary fictitious one. Yeah. Do your research, guys, with hardware wallets. You really want to know what you're doing, because if you mess it up, there's no undo button. There's no customer support. Oh, I lost my keys, but you know, it's stuffed. Like if you stuff up self custody, yeah, it's damaging, and you don't get it back. So be very careful and be very aware of what you're doing when you're doing self custody. You know, practice with $10 with self custody. You know, like if once you get your head around it and you're comfortable, then awesome, all good. You know what CZ likes to say? The head of Binance likes to say that people are very careless with self-custody, and they make mistakes and they lose money all the time, and that people should put their money into Binance so they can look after it for them. Which is, yeah, I mean, he's kind of right. They haven't lost anyone's money, but yeah, his views on self-custody are very negative, as you would expect, being an exchange. He wants to do the custody for you so that he can benefit off your holdings in Binance. Whatever coin that is, whatever it is, he wants that liquidity sitting on his exchange. Good to be alive. 20 pounds, my dude. That's pounds, right? Thanks for all the tips. You're welcome, man. I hope it helps. Even if, look, if half the stuff that I say you guys already know, it's good to hear it, because you need to be reminded of this stuff. I feel you always have to have your finger on the pulse. If you walk away from it for too long and come back 6 months down the track, there's going to be a lot of things you're not fresh on. You're going to be rusty. So it is give yourselves a pat on the back for paying attention through all of this bullshit. All this rubbish that we've been through. Good on you. This is very painful kind of market conditions. The bulk of people wait for this to get involved. But you guys are all involved where the smart money is planting seeds. So much like back here, that's what we're dealing with right here. You know, we're at some kind of market low. Are we at the bottom? Have we hit the bottom? Maybe. You know, not Nostradamus. I don't know if we have or not, but it looks good. It looks good so far. This could be the bottom. Obviously, there's a possibility that we get a new low this year, but hey, if we do, it's an opportunity to plant more seeds and redo this bit, because you know how many people would be saying, I wish we could do this again. I certainly wish we could go back here. because I would do some things differently. Hindsight to 2020, right? But look, we had weekly signals like glaring at us in the face. Like, look, let me turn off these levels so we can read the chart. It's getting in the way a bit. Get rid of that one. These ones. Let's hit reset and zoom the hell in. Okay. Where's the FTX dump? There it is right there. What happened post FTX on the RSI and the other oscillators? Weekly, guys, weekly bullish divergence. Weekly signals are not a joke. Like, they're strong. They're strong signals. You know, if you think that weekly bullish divergence is going to get ignored, you've got another thing coming. You know, you got wrecked. If you think weekly bullish divergence was going to hold crypto back, or you know that crypto was just going to ignore it and dump into 12K, then you got wrecked. Like, simple, plain and simple. So pay attention to the high time frame, you know, divergences, guys. Even though, like, there are cases, obviously, if a trend is strong enough, it'll like delay the effect of the divergence, but it is there nonetheless. We had weekly bullish divergence, and we got indicated of that bullish divergence even before that pump to 18K. Like, it happened here. So if you saw it for what it was, like here, you were all set. You were all set. Even this was like, who cares? Like, that was just a bit of shenanigans before the real reaction happened and we got this rally up. So yeah, weekly bullish divergence. We have not even come up oversold yet on the weekly chart RSI. This is like a little hump in the road. See, like, it does it here. Look, up, hump in the road, you know, pull back a little and then take off. Like, same here. Look, hump in the road right there, pull back, you know, along the way, but then carried on and got oversold, overbought. So could that be happening again? Very much it could be. It's highly probable. Not guaranteed, but probable, right? There we have it. Paper wallet is really where it's at. Yeah. Yes. And by the way, guys, if you have a hardware wallet and you have your crypto on a hardware wallet, you can paper back up that hardware wallet. So if the hardware wallet gets smashed by a hammer or it stops working, you can revive the crypto you had on that hardware wallet because you've got the keys, you've got it written. Get it tattooed on your arm, for God's sake, whatever. You know, like, if you've got it like embossed in steel, it won't get destroyed. You won't lose your keys. You know what I mean? There's different creative ways of like storing your Bitcoin. I want to see if that exists. Has anyone ever tattooed their wallet address on themselves, on their body? Crypto wallet address tattoo. I'm going to look it up. Crypto wallet address tattoo. I betcha people have done it. Yeah. Yeah, look, people have got QR codes tattooed on them. This is cool. Open in new tab. That's for life, yo. Bitcoin accepted here. So that QR code obviously would bring up a wallet address, the deposits, the public address, right? QR code tattoo, hilarious. All right, I'm going to turn these lights off that are like blinding my face. And I'll still be here, still talking. You can still hear me. So, where we at? Where we at? We're in the weekend, that's right. Let's turn these weekend boxes back on. Let's go down to 1 minute. We're chopping sideways. Isn't that a big surprise? We're slightly going up. Ooh, bit of optimism on a Saturday morning. But hey, look, we're still, yeah, we're nothing too exciting yet. Hopefully, there's some altcoins that have some time to shine over the weekend. You know, they do like to do that. I think as Bitcoin goes stable or sideways or choppy, sometimes you get altcoins doing some crazy shit. Let me go to like an altcoin list, like a pure shitcoin list here. I mean, Bonk might have a... Bonk is up almost 1% already. Hilarious. What else we got? Okay, JST. Like, what the hell is that? BNX. Metal. BLZ. Some of these I've heard of, some of them I've never heard of. Oh, Solana's up. Almost 1% for the day. Cool. GMT. You know, could these be little Saturday trenders today, you know? Maybe. Harmony? Man, I remember Harmony. There was a lot of hype around Harmony 1 back in like 2019 or something. I think it was 2019, maybe 2018. Hedera Hashgraph, HBAR. That's one that's popular. These, you know, these like random altcoins that you hear about, they're like, oh, everyone seems to love that shit. So HBAR's one. Clubs in Vegas have or had strippers walking around with QR code sticker tats. God bless. Talk about contactless payment. Yeah. We up to with the old rising wedge here. That's a nice 5-minute candle, Bitcoin. Almost 0.2%. Nice and solid. Bullish engulfing on the 5-minute. DXY can go to hell. Sorry. Oh, DXY. The Dixie chicks. Remember the Dixie chicks? What do they look like again? Let me have a look. What are you if you're a Dixie chick? Does that mean like you're from the South or something? Like you're into the country music? The DXY chicks. Yes, the Dixie chicks. Remember them? The dollar index chicks. Can you do technical analysis on the DXY? You probably can. It looks like an inverse head and shoulders right here. Like if you use their chins, check this out. If you use their chins as the chart, like you've got shoulder, head is that chin, and then this chin. Look at that, inverse head and shoulders. That's bullish for the DXY, right there. There's the neckline, breakout right here on the side of her face. Sorry for that abstract little game there. Shit. Rick's gone off the rails. Yeah, it happens. Happens all the time, to be honest. Why do they always put the short one in the middle? Why do they always put her standing in the middle with the tall ones on the outside? They look like sisters, these two. And this looks like their neighbor from like 1992 or something like that. I wonder what they're doing these days, the Dixie Chicks. Causing corrections on Bitcoin, that's what they're doing. Alright, this is where people start tuning out and like logging off and like closing the stream. So we've just started the weekend. It's gonna chop sideways. I might not stream Sunday because it's gonna be boring as hell. If something exciting happens, guys, like then I'll stream, but otherwise probably not. It's probably gonna be like a Monday. But definitely you will see me streaming live for the CPI data release. Valentine's Day. Will you be my Valentine, guys? For CPI Day. I'll be there. I'll catch you guys there, and have yourselves a beautiful weekend. Take care. Don't do stupid trades. Be careful with your leverage. Protect your money that you have. And I'll catch you on the next stream, guys. Take care.